What's happening?
What's happening with you?
Oh, are you at?
I'm home. I'm at my parents' house.
Oh,
It's Christmas week, so I'm back home with the folks.
and you just got up, and it's like 11:45 in the morning.
It's Christmas break, Dan. I can sleep as long as I want.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's like watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
Each week we watch a movie. This is our absolute Christmas episode, which will be out
Sure is.
on Christmas.
It depends on how motivated I am on Christmas Day, so it'll be either Christmas Day or the day after. I don't know.
This is our Christmas adjacent episode.
That's right.
I don't know who counts as picking this movie.
It's a group pick, I think.
Oh,
but
okay.
technically, it was my decision on the day.
Oh, so I'm supposed to be coming up with a movie for next week.
I think we already talked about it, though.
Do we
did
know
not?
what we're doing for next week? Are we doing Venom?
That's
okay.
what we talked about. Was doing Venom.
Right, we're doing Venom next. So that's available, I take it? Okay, whatever.
It sure is.
Here we
sure
are.
is.
Here we are doing business at the top of the show. Business.
This is not where this belongs. It goes at the end of the show when no one's listening anymore.
I feel better now. So this week, group's consensus, kind of Tony's pick, kind of the world's pick. Just like Venom will be kind of my pick, but it's also be kind of the world's pick.
Yeah, universal.
Because that was the thing is someone nice sent us a list of how many.
There were five or six on there,
and they were all very interesting movies here. Mostly a little older ones, a lot of 80s movies. There was one on there that I am absolutely going to pick.
There were two on there that have been on my list for a while, so now it feels like the right time.
Yeah,
since someone else has also brought it up.
So we might be descending into the 80s for Portrait of January,
which is my favorite decade,
and not a good decade for movies.
When was Monster Squad? I think that was the 80s. That's all you need.
We were sitting there watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Great.
It's a movie people love to death.
Yeah.
And we were watching some of the bits, and Shannon and I are both kind of looking at each other like, okay. Okay. Steve Martin's trying to catch the taxi, and they're they're playing the song, and you're like, yeah, I guess.
Well, what you have to remember, Dan, is that there's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies, so we take what we can get. Okay.
Well, but is this really like classic? Because also our buddy Todd, one of his friends, never seen Die Hard.
Wait,
never seen Die Hard.
No.
Never seen Die Hard.
That is not allowed.
But you watch Die Hard and you're like, even stripping the nostalgia away, it is a rock solid.
It's a perfect film.
It is a rock solid.
It's a perfectly crafted film.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like beat for beat, you can't beat it. Pun intended.
I think movies like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, with beautiful John Candy characterization. John Candy, amazing. But if you really look at the whole of the creature, I'm not sure that it's
a perfect film.
Yes, I don't think so.
Yeah. I will allow that. I haven't seen that movie in probably 10 years.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
So there you go. So, but what are we doing today, Tony?
Right. We haven't said it. We're 10 minutes in. We are doing the brand new Christmas classic. This is going to last for hundreds of years in children's hearts. This is a movie that critics are calling wonderfully Christmas. It's a Red One. It's Red One, everybody. It's a weird movie.
It's a weird movie.
It's not. It's not a bad movie. I did not hate this movie.
It's not a hateable movie. It's not a good movie.
Sorry. Yes. No. Agreed. My biggest problems with the movie, which we'll talk about, are the Christmas things. It's not
a Christmas movie.
Right. It's just not right. It's not right. But it's just like a dumb. I watched this on the plane flying home for Christmas here, and as that, it's fine. It's a fine plane movie. I didn't pay that much attention, And
as a lot of the movies we do, all the movies we do, I write down a lot of stuff, and sometimes you get A typical movie I want to be at 4 pages, right? 4 pages of notes.
Great. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sometimes we're going into 5 and 6.
Right.
This
That's
movie,
when we're in trouble. Yeah.
This movie just barely 3.5, a little over 3.5.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And
there's not a lot of substance.
There's not a lot there. It's like a fight scene where the Rock becomes tiny and then gets bigger and then tiny again and then bigger, and you're like, that's Christmassy.
It's not. Not only is it not Christmassy, but I think I've seen that before.
Oh wow! Okay, I'm interested to hear about that.
Well, I mean, it's basically they took a bunch of ideas from the Marvel universe, and pretended that they were somehow related to Christmas. I mean, the North Pole looks like Asgard, which is just upsetting to the Christmas feels. I appreciate that they took the time to build their own Christmas lore, but it's bullshit. Okay,
this movie is so packed with lore. And they're just like, oh, is that the X7 14800 thing? And he's like, yes, that's one of those.
That's it.
That's the fifth one they built, and there's a better model. You were just like, okay,
I don't care. I don't care about any of this.
I went, and as not necessarily a palate cleanser, but just trying to understand the Christmas movie, the Christmas blockbuster of today, and I went back and watched Spirited.
Spirited, yes.
Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell one from 2 years ago. Same, you can feel like it's the same sort of level of production. 1 million people, beautiful sets, beautiful everything. And everything about that movie is just beyond everything in this movie. This movie is just, it is the basement, and that movie is the penthouse. It's like the comedy is tight and makes sense, and there's characters, and you're invested in every one, and you understand why everything happens, and it's all personal, and it's all, it's like we're watching the character growth, and we understand that how all these people are, and they feel like people you could know. Red One, on the other hand, it's these weird sketches of people that a writer has made.
Yeah. Also, Spirited takes a Christmas classic and puts a small twist on it. But it's not so big of a twist that I go, well, this isn't Christmas, you sons of bitches, which is how I felt this entire movie.
You mean when we get to the end and we get parkour Santa Claus?
Oh, God. Well, what's even weirder is that we jack out Santa Claus. We show 20-minute montages of him getting ripped. And then the payoff is this stupid roof climbing thing. He gets kidnapped by underlings, as far as I can tell. He should be kicking some ass at some point in this movie instead of just running up and down CGI houses. That's a huge disappointment.
It was, the other thing I kind of realized when I got to the end of this movie, is there wasn't really a Christmas music. Christmas music. These are things that we in America have blended together like so strong. And in Spirited, they play on it constantly.
They sure do.
And everything is about the virtues of Christmas and this and that. This one,
and that's important. What's the Christmas moral in this movie? Where's the Christmas lesson? Where is hey, children, this is what Christmas is about. What is it? Someone tell me what Red One is trying to tell children about Christmas.
Don't be a dick.
I guess.
It's not what it is.
Well, is it though? Because, Chris Evans dick his whole life and then just gets to meet Santa Claus. So, I don't know. Sure, he has a redemption arc, but he's been bad his whole life. Bad list, naughty list his whole life, and he's saving Santa Claus.
Without, I think they set up why he is, but once again, in Spirited, mom's alcoholic, sister dies, mom makes up fake dog at the beginning, the dog escaped, and the kid's out looking for it's a real thing. There's oh, okay.
It'll mess you up.
This seems like a bad childhood. I don't know. I mean, he was just his kid was just a dick as a kid, right?
Well, his parents died.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. And so he was like the Christmas scene at the beginning. He's at his uncle's or something.
Uncle Rick, yeah.
Yeah, he's being a dick about it, which it's tough. That's a tough situation if that's what happened. I think that's what happened. I don't totally remember. But he was just like, "Hey guys, guess what? Santa's not real. Here's all the presents in this locked door that I'm going to break into." Like, what is going on over here?
Yeah, it's yeah. So, anything else to say before we really dig in deep to Red One?
Nope, don't think so. Let's do this thing. Let's rip this apart. Let's go.
So we have our main Chris Evans character as a kid, Jack. As we said, he shows all the other kids the presents and is like, this whole Santa Claus things. We also set up that he has this magical power of being able to find anything and anyone.
Which is weird that it's when he's a kid, too.
Well, I mean, it has to. I mean, it's your premise for the movie is we're setting this guy up that he can do this thing seemingly magically for no reason.
I mean, it has to be magic because what I'm saying is he's what, 8, 10? Yeah. I don't know. He's young and he already thinks he's the greatest finder in the world.
And he is.
What are the things that he's found other than these presents? I'm going to need some examples as a kid because all I've seen him do is steal some keys and break into a locked closet, which, by the way, naughty, very naughty. Don't do that, kids. Let the magic envelop you this Christmas season.
Now, did you believe in Santa Claus, Tony?
Dan, I still believe in Santa Claus. Okay, I think the problem is humans. All right. We were big believers in Santa Claus growing up, and then I'm 8 years older than my younger brother. So then once I transitioned, I was part of the ruse to keep him believing. Yeah, it was great times. The magic is real.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
I love Christmas, Dan. I love it.
He eats Santa's cookies. So 30 years later, here we are at a Starbucks. He starts by stealing somebody's coffee. And then we find out he's an inveterate gambler who always loses, which
I guess
I'm not sure what that's all about. No. He scopes out this girl, causes an electrical fire, steals her badge, lets loose some dogs, which distract a security guard, gets into the lab, patches into their cable, and then as he's leaving, he sees a baby who is holding a candy, which is a candy. He's holding like one of those clear suckers, which
with the wrapper on, is an interesting detail. But
first of all, no one would give their kid at that age that candy. They wouldn't give it to him with the wrapper on. And then
because that's how you choke and die as a baby. Just FYI.
And then for some reason he has to, in case you didn't get it, he steals candy from a baby.
I did laugh.
Oh, you laughed?
I'm not gonna lie. I did. I fell for it because I was like, it's so on the nose.
Yeah.
There's this. They take the saying, "You steal candy from a baby," and they make it a person. I mean, listen. As kids' movies, which I don't know that this is. At the time I was like, this is a kids' movie, right? I don't know anymore, but it's funny because kids will probably get that joke.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, you're like, okay.
It's like when the bad guy of the film shoots his minions, so you know that he's a bad guy. But it's even more obvious than that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because they show him smiling and walking off with it. It's just like, you guys, you silly bastards.
I mean, it seems like you could have written that like funny.
You could have, or... That's option 1, write it funny. Or option 2 is keep that ridiculous, silly theme going out through the movie. And then I think, in my true Tony fashion, it'll get funny.
If you beat that dead horse might be funny eventually.
And you never know. It might, it might not. I don't know. But at least try. Try something.
Yeah. It just seems like he could have you could have done something much funnier. Like the kids wearing like a Hershey's Kiss hat, and he steals the hat, and you're like, oh, you see, he stole candy from baby,
Yes, but it's one layer deeper.
Yes, there were no that's exactly what's wrong with this movie. There were no layers. At no point did you go, oh, now you were always like, okay. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. It's all pretty logical. You know, they don't try to throw anything at you that's too crazy.
Yeah, you're never left confused.
No.
If you are confused, then the next scene will be them explaining exactly what the myth is and why that thing is
you
that
remember
way.
that thing we just talked about? Let me explain it to you.
Yeah, so that like their big evil plan, this evil snow globe. You're like, oh, this is going to mean something, and you're like, no, but they act like it's going to mean something, but instead they're just going to explain it in the next scene.
Yeah. So, and this is they stole things from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And then they stole a bunch of stuff from the Santa Claus series.
Oh, dear.
Like the movies and the TV show, The Santa Claus, a lot of those ideas are in this movie. And I found that very weird to me.
Man.
Like the snow globes. Snow globes play a very important part in the third Santa Claus, which is a terrible film. FYI, awful. Rewatched it on the plane after this movie, and I was like, I've made a mistake. But the whole thing, it's all about the snow globes holding the powers. Like they have a snow globe room. Because the first, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get the lore of the Santa Claus. The snow globes are very important. So they stole that. One of the characters, the son of Santa Claus, is named Cal in the Santa Claus series.
What?
Which is The Rock's name. It's Cal. And I was like, what? What is that? You can't think of a different name? What's going on here?
Because you'd think if you were writing a terrible movie like this, you would have done your... Because, like, I've not seen any of those movies. Those Santa Claus... I've never seen any of those.
You've never seen the first one?
I don't believe so.
I would say watch the first one. The first one's a real movie, like a genuine comedy. And then 2 is a Disney movie, straight up like it Disneyfies itself. 3 is trash. It's a dumpster fire. Don't watch it. And then the TV show's fun.
And like the what's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one where they
Jingle All the Way? You don't know the name of Jingle All the Way, the greatest holiday film of all time?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either. So
okay. So homework for this week, Dan. No. You need to watch Jingle All the Way and the Santa Claus, the first one.
But what I'm saying is, if I was going to write one of these kind of movies, I'd probably do my research to understand what the competition is.
You absolutely have to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so then we have a Christmas song, Christmas, the snow's coming down. So we have a Christmas song. We're like, okay. Now we get to JK Simmons' Jacked Santa and The Rock as his number one bodyguard, whose name is Cal. And I guess in secret, he's like an ogre or something. And they teased that at one point, and then he never turns into anything else at all. Which I was like, well, that's kind of weird. You think you'd like have one, theme.
They tease it a couple times.
Oh, a couple times? Was it a couple times?
Yeah, because at one point, Chris Evans asks him if he's human or says something about being human. He's like, you think I'm human? And my response was yes. Resounding yes. I've seen no evidence of the contrary.
And Chris Evans does have the occasional line like that where he points out the things.
Yeah.
And, he's just so generally charming. He sort of helps to carry this along.
Yeah, he's great.
And in this first scene where Rock is playing the bodyguard, we're like, oh, yeah, this still feels like he hasn't really progressed in his ability to act these kind of scenes because
he's not gonna.
It's not good.
Because here's the thing, and this is not a knock on Dwayne Johnson.
Knock on the Rock.
But I do have several of those. He doesn't need to, right? Like he's making millions and millions of dollars doing what he does. Why would he feel the need to get better at anything?
Yeah.
It's I'm not saying that he shouldn't. I'm just saying I understand the mentality. It's the same thing actors, like out of work actors like myself, when people are like, hey, you should get back into acting class. We're like, why? I don't have anything else to learn. I'm good. So I get it. That's all I'm saying. I understand. My manager once told me to get back in class, and I said, you shut your mouth. I'm the best actor on the planet. And then she dropped me.
Yeah.
You don't think you disagree with this Rock theory?
Well, I just wonder, wouldn't you just kind of get better?
Yeah, I mean, you should. Just in practice. Practice makes perfect. That's all acting class is, right? It's just doing it.
I mean,
nobody's like, this is how you do it. You just do it, and you start feeling those emotions. You have to learn how to connect internally, It should just happen eventually, but sometimes it doesn't, Dan.
Acting is such a weird thing. you know, and it's like part of it's about reality, part of it's not about, you know, like JK Simmons is Jack Santa. You kind of buy it, and you know, it kind of makes some amount of sense. But, you know,
well, I don't know. Let's not go that
well,
far.
I mean, it makes internal logical sense to the stupid movie.
Sure.
You know, you think back of whatever that one where he played the music teacher and he torments what's his name, and you're just like, wow, think of all that reality that could be infused in a movie like this, and instead he's giving reality to like this weird jacked Santa character that no one wants to spend any time with.
Do you want to know my biggest problem about jacked Santa?
Yes.
We don't have a line, a joke, an explanation. We have nothing about why the public believes he's fat. Never. There's never a joke about it. Like he should say something. Coca-Cola's made him fat for some reason. Like there has to be a line about why you are jacked the F up and everybody thinks you're a roly-poly idiot.
Well,
that's my biggest problem.
And my biggest problem was this whole thing was, you know, the bad guy's going to make it so that they're going to do something bad with Santa's situation, but they also make it that Santa has to do this thing, and it's like, well, no, he doesn't. Nothing's going to happen on the if because Santa doesn't deliver all the presents. They just sort of set up that he delivers an additional, you know, 5 to 8% of the packages, which they don't even say what it is. So if those packages don't show up, there is no loss, right? You have to 100%. Establish what what's going to truly be missing if he doesn't do it, and that there isn't anything. So they're fighting to find and save their friend, but at the same time, you're like, well, what are the stakes? Because they're making the stakes be global and universal.
Yeah.
When it really should just be personal. And if it was personal, then you'd be like, oh, this is way more interesting, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
There's definitely a thing there because they're acting like Santa Claus has to deliver those packages or else the world is is having a problem. But
and here's why I know it's not, because people don't believe in Santa Claus. And this is why making a Santa Claus movie is very difficult to fight this line of adults don't believe in Santa, kids do, and yet he's real somehow, because on Christmas Day, when presents arrive that the parents didn't buy, why aren't they like, what the hell's going on? These aren't presents that I bought. Santa must be real. It's a very tricky situation to get into, but this movie makes a point of Chris Evans never believing in Santa as a kid or as an adult. If Santa was real and gave his cousins presents, he would probably know.
Yeah, he would.
It's tough. It's a real hard balance to make a Santa Claus movie.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so boom. He's playing. Rock is worried about everybody. You know, lady tries to bring Santa cookies, and so Santa really comes out into the world to, feel how the people are feeling.
Yeah.
We have poor John Rudnitsky come out there and try to play this annoying influencer called Beef Stew, who just wants Santa to put on a shirt.
A t-shirt.
And it's so bad. I've got my 3,000 followers are going to be unhappy if you don't do this, Santa. And it's like, John Rudnitsky, funny guy. Tony and I were talking about it. He was in a show called
The Big Leap.
The Big Leap, he was
wonderful,
incredible in this show. He was a great actor, funny, charismatic, and they've reduced him to a pile of garbage for a bit that isn't even funny, and it just makes you so sad.
Well, it's such a weird choice, right? Because they're making him a loser in this situation. Because the joke is I only have 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
But I have t-shirts and I have a bit to do, but I'm not actually popular. Nobody knows who I am behind me. So it's just like a really weird setup that feels out of place in reality in general, but also doesn't set him up for any jokes.
No.
Which is why? Why would you do that? And why would you get such a like a real guy, like a noticeable guy. I'm not saying he's famous or anything, but he's around. We know who he is. Get an unknown for this bit. It's weird.
Well,
it's weird that I know him more in real life than the people in the movie know him. It's just a weird dichotomy for such a guy that's a loser and in it so little and give him nothing. Why did he agree to it? When was this filmed? Like, how much money? I hope they gave him a bunch of money. I really do.
You make money off a movie like this. And, we can sit here and instantaneously, I'm thinking to myself, well, how could you make this scene better? Well, Santa Claus talks to him.
Of course.
He does.
There should be interaction.
Santa Claus. Do some Santa. Yeah. He can do some Santa Clausing. Santa Claus takes him, says to him, let it go. This isn't who you are. You're this, that, and the other thing. Remember when I brought you that thing? Da-da-da-da-da. He sorts this guy out. But Santa doesn't. There's no sorting out. Santa doesn't sort out anything.
Santa never Santa Clauses. That's the problem. He never uses Santa magic. He doesn't Santa Claus as a verb. And that's a problem.
We put him in a globe and he sits there asleep for the whole movie. And and a lot of times we're waiting for that because we find out Krampus is his brother, and you're waiting for like him to say some things or somebody to say some things where like
anyone
you hurt me. And then he's like, you want these people to take on these emotional stakes. Even in a stupid movie like this, you got to take on some emotional stakes. Otherwise, we don't care because all your lore you've written up is never gonna get us there.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you've taken the time to think it out and you've created a world that sucks, but, it's a world that you can live in if you wanted to, but you don't do anything with it. There's nothing, like, I don't care about any of it.
Yeah. So he gets a convoy of cars. We find out that Cal is retiring because
he doesn't like people. That's the easiest explanation. He doesn't like people anymore.
So he goes through this whole process and then he likes people because he ended up liking Jack? Is that the idea?
I mean, yeah, what it is he doesn't see the inner child of anyone anymore. And so that's the whole thing. If you want to find a Christmas lesson, it's that adults suck and our inner child is the only virtue we have as people. But he just can't see the inner child anymore. All he sees is shitty adults, and he's like, "This isn't cool. This isn't fun anymore."
And so at the end,
which I get,
at the end, spoilers, Jack is there with his kid, and so he sees Jack as his inner child interacting with his kid. But
which is weird.
It's the weirdest scene in the whole movie because you're like, he's not interacting with him as they're both kids.
As a kid. No, they're not like playing action figures with each other. Like he's teaching him life lessons over there. It's very strange.
It's very weird. Boom, boom. He's retiring. They get to the military airport, and there's the general like, "Hello, Santa. We're the military. We know everything about Santa." And you're like, okay, number one, if Santa had magic and had a magic place, the military would be trying to steal all his secrets, and they would be trying to co-opt him. You can't trust the military. Yeah. They're the military.
No, for sure. I mean, they'd be like, you have a globe that hides you from everyone else on the planet? We're going to need that around the United States, stat.
And you're going to be flying over airspace and doing whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. No
Santa.
problem. We're not going to shoot you down with a heat-seeking missile. Don't worry about it, Santa. Stupid. So dumb.
And then the reindeer are like 6 stories tall.
Yep. No, I didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. What a weird choice. Why? That doesn't make them more magical. What's going on here?
They're taller. They're more magical. You don't understand.
Okay.
And their horns.
I don't understand. You're absolutely right.
And okay.
And their antlers are the magic. Is that what's happening? Because they glow. They're like golden glowing. I don't know.
The reindeer love Cal, but they are indifferent to Santa. I don't know.
Which is pretty strange, right? Like Santa should be best friends with his reindeer. That's kind of a thing.
So they take off, and then
in the worst sled in the history of the world. Okay, like this. It frustrates. It's not. It's not even a sled, right? Like it's some sort of hovercraft that was like straight out of Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, what's happening? This is dumb.
God, there was like an all animated one where Santa had like a jet powered one that I remember watching, and it was okay.
It was all right.
But
was he at least Santa?
But as I remember, the only thing I remember about it is the sleigh was very similar in this design.
Okay.
Only thing I remember about the movie. So they go there, and then they do a sonic boom or something happens, and that's the crux of the thing is that Jack had planted this thing to sense this signal, which he's going to send to the bad guys so that they're going to know where the North Pole is, because how could they not know exactly where it is?
See, now that's a great question, because when it first happens, you're like, oh, this is like humans are trying to figure out where Santa is. I love this. That's fun.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that it's someone who already knows Santa.
Everything.
And has interacted with Santa and is like best friends / lovers with his brother. Like, she knows where it is. I don't understand. She knows exactly where she's been there. For sure she's been there.
It's a big invisible force shield over a large area.
Huge. It's giant.
You can just walk around up there till you bumped into it.
Bing, bing. I found it, guys. Let's go.
But once again, this is a bunch of premises in search of a movie, so we got to set all these things up. Secret dome over the city. This city is massive. It's filled with talking polar bears and like Dobby is there, little Dobby guys, and
little Dobby elf,
all these other things.
Yeah, I'm in general, I'm okay with the idea of like the animals being a part of it. I love that. That's great. But this city's dumb. It needs to feel like the North Pole still. Like, come on. There's barely even any snow around here,
He goes, Santa is working out. Cal shows up to give him a letter, and I'm just like, this is my resignation letter. And you're like, wait, we already set up that he was resigned.
Everybody already knows, bro. You talked about it already. Like, Santa, it's so weird. That's not how resignation letters work. Like, you've already given it because everybody knows you're resigning. Doesn't make any sense.
This should be the point at which we shouldn't have mentioned it before, and he gives it now.
Sure.
And we're like, oh, we have this is the emotional moment, but this isn't the emotional moment because everyone already knows what's going on.
Everyone already knows, and they're just working out. He's just banging out reps, and he's just like, all right, well, cool, man.
Don't do it.
I think you're going to miss it. See you later. It's terrible stuff.
So the bad guys find the dome, start cutting the hole in the dome. Cal's walking around, melancholy, and he sees like the little house. There's a little sign up. There's this decrepit house with a thing around it, and it says where it all began. And I'm like, wow, this must be significant. We've spent some time. We've shown you this sign. We've when we flew over, we saw this house. Now we've gone back to. We've met this house again. This is going to be a key to everything.
Well, it kind of is.
Oh, is it?
No, not in the movie at all. What I mean is,
thanks, Tony.
It's the North Pole the way that it should be. It's because that's the North Pole that, this is what you guys think the North Pole is. It's this little house in the middle of the snow, which is what it is. And then they're like, guess what? Instead, we build Asgard on top. Go fuck yourselves. So it's like, it's just a middle finger to people like me that want Santa Claus and the North Pole to be slightly traditional.
So Cal looks up at the big Asgardian tower, and he sees a light go out, and he's like, calls somebody, there's a light that went out. And then he sees another thing go out, and he's like, oh, now there's a whole other thing, like everybody alert, security alert,
everybody panic.
So he runs up there, and they find that Santa Claus is missing. And they don't know where he is. And then they see an armored snowcat driving away.
Yeah.
This thing drives 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He runs on top of this little building like this.
Yeah, he's fine.
Keeps up with it constantly.
Well, he's not human, Dan. They keep telling you
That's true.
but they won't show you what he is.
So
they just want you to know.
He jumps down. So he takes these, slides, which are a thing from Avatar, where at the Rock City, they're exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
He goes down there. He catches up. He he pulls out a tiny little snowmobile, throws it down, and then he has this magic beam thing. And he does the giant man Ant-Man thing, and it becomes a normal size thing, and he gets on it, and he chases them, and then they get out of the thing, then he causes a giant avalanche, which only succeeds in stopping them. He opens it up. It's all a trick because he sees an airplane fly over, and they've gotten away.
Now, Dan, here's a question. What does the ability to shrink and grow toys and things of that nature have to do with being an elf?
He's not an elf. He's like a troll or something.
I understand that he's part of elf, which is like their
extra lazy fucks.
I'm pretty sure that's not what they said it stands for, but I'll allow it.
Hold on. When they do the anachronism for elf, it is terrible.
It's awful and it's dumb, but he gets mad when you're like, oh, you're an elf. He's like, I'm not an elf. I'm part of elf. Something stupid like that. I don't know. But what does this have to do with anything? Like, why does he have this power?
So that you could use it in different situations. He also has a thing where he goes, beep, boop, boop, and then he's really strong.
Yeah. Like, I just don't understand what any of this has to do with. It's not even Christmas magic.
Maybe he should have a gun instead.
He should. I don't know, man. He should have something. This is dumb. I don't like it.
Well, what was the movie that we were watching where they got the 3 wishes? We were watching something.
Dear Santa.
Oh, Dear Santa.
And it's Satan. Yeah, Satan's 3 wishes.
Satan hands out 3 wishes.
Yeah.
This is very similar to that, where you're just like, okay, you gotta you gotta give us a little something more. As to
it would be. I mean, wouldn't that be nice? Also, on unrelated note, actually, Dan, Dear Satan, which is, if you didn't watch our episode or watch the movie, it's about a dyslexic kid that spells Santa wrong and writes a letter. That joke is also in the Santa Claus. In the first season of the Santa Claus, it's on Disney Plus. He's like saying goodbye, and the elves are doing a dance, and they spell out goodbye Santa, but they spell it goodbye Satan. And then he goes, oh, spelling. And then they all scream and rush around. I was like, these people are just stealing everything from the Santa Claus. It's unbelievable.
Not to say anything good about the Santa Claus, the TV show. That sounds funny.
It is funny. There are a couple very funny moments. A lot of them are not great.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's some funny stuff. See, and again, the original Santa Claus is great, Dan. You should watch it.
Yeah. See, you walk into a room and you tell me that bit, I'm like, okay, that bit sounds funny. I want to see these guys dancing around. I want to see them spell it. I want to see them call for spelling, and I want to be like, ah! Everyone throws exactly them up in the
what
air
happens.
And runs around like, ah!
Yep,
it's funny.
It's 100%. You just described exactly the scene. You've never even seen it.
I've never seen it because it sounds like a good scene.
It is a good scene.
So we meet Lucy Liu, the most not badly used, but just superfluous wasted character that's ever existed. We're like, Lucy Liu, I loved her. I watched that.
Because Lucy Liu's a badass.
She made that Sherlock Holmes show. That Sherlock Holmes show
for sure.
doesn't exist without the perfect 2-character interplay between the two of them. What's his name? Johnny Lee Miller. Johnny Lee Miller being great, her being Watson, and there being, and I watched 5 seasons of that show, like every episode. Yeah. Loved it. And I'm sure you'd watch it again and you'd be like, this is great character in action. Lucy Liu, she can do the thing. Yeah. Now, was it these 3 same stars that were in that other terrible Red something or other? Because there was that other Amazon
the Netflix. That was the Netflix one, right?
Wasn't it?
It was.
Oh no, it was Wonder Woman.
The Rock, Wonder Woman. Was that Chris Evans?
Chris Evans.
It was?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Dude, I don't even remember. That movie wasn't very good.
Something. It's called Red something or other. Red Letter. Red.
Are you sure it's not just called Red?
I don't know. It could be. Could be just.
I think that one might just be Red.
No, that's the Assassins one with.
That's the old Assassin people.
Yeah, that's the old Assassin.
Okay.
Which was okay.
This is tough.
Okay, so Lucy Liu is the director of NOPA or something, which is the something like that. The agency that keeps track of supernatural beings. Like, okay.
Yeah.
She refers to that jet that escaped as a NORAD blind cargo jet. NORAD blind cargo jet. NORAD blind cargo jet. Well, NORAD is a place in a mountain that pays attention to everything. Why is that word? Why did someone just go like, let's glue that word on the front of cargo?
Because it's a word that normies recognize, but probably don't know enough about to question it. You know what I mean? It is called Red Notice, by the way. I just looked it up on my phone.
Notice. There it is. Like, stop with the red one. And, they call Santa Red One. No, it's dumb.
Well, do you understand it, though?
Yes.
Because he's the president. They're basically treating him like he's the president.
I'm
not saying it's good.
We once...
But he's got a secret service. He's got code names. He's got, a stupid sleigh that's probably Air Force One-ish,
We once were doing work for this super rich guy. I think one of the top 5 richest guys in America. He might have owned Marvel Comics at one point.
Okay.
And he had like this giant security force, and they would do that. They'd be like, number 1 is number, he was number 1, wife was number 2, and like the kid was number 3, and they all referred to him as that. And you were like, oh, okay. This does not make me care about the situation to make it more military and more.
No, it makes it dumber.
It makes it. It makes it more impersonal.
Yeah. And again, because you don't want to watch the Santa Claus for some dumb reason, and I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, everybody, but in the Santa Claus, they also have a security force. Yeah. ELFS, which is, and it's, it's a bunch of cute little kids playing elves, and they have to break them out of jail, so they fly with their jetpacks to jail, and then the security guy's like, who are you idiots? It's closed, get out of here. And they're like, we're your worst nightmare, elves with attitude. It's fucking amazing how they do it, but it's the same idea, but they do it in a Christmassy, fun way. And this movie's like, okay, but what if we did something like that without any of the fun or Christmas magic? Imagine that movie.
Well,
I hate it.
We watched that other one, the one about Santa's brother, which was played by Vince Vaughn. And they did
Fred Claus.
They did that exact scene with the elf security team. And as I remember, that was one of the few kind of funny things in that movie.
Because if you do it right, it's a fun idea. Like, it's cute and fun. It's like, oh, Santa Claus has a security detail. That's funny. But in this movie, not fun, not funny, not cute.
Imagine you did The Rock at like half scale this whole movie and gave him a funny voice.
Sure. He would not allow. He would never do that.
Santa, Red One, I'm here. It's like this little tiny rock. It'd be very weird.
I love that idea. I'm in.
Hey, try pitching that into the room. He's like,
right. He'd be like, get out of my house.
Okay. So the trolls have a trace. It's the wolf, the best tracker in the world. Then we cut to the wolf. The wolf has to go pick up his kid. His kid's into a girl. He's like the classic dick dad, but this kid should worship this dad, right?
Yeah, because he's just like him. So, like, he should be like, you're the coolest dad in the world. Like, criminals unite. I don't know. It's weird.
It's like, mom's a nerd. My dad is like this cool guy who bucks the system.
Yeah, I just want to be like you, Dad. I want to be, and he's like, no, you don't want, we're not into this. Like, he should be against it. They shouldn't both be against it. Doesn't make any sense.
And the kid should be a problem kid, like fully a problem kid.
Yes, absolutely. Well, his dad's ignoring him. He probably would be a problem kid.
He sees the guys in the truck. Still goes to his apartment.
Yeah, because he notices it, but he's like, it's probably fine.
So
I'm not a mastermind criminal that's wanted by the FBI. It's okay.
So he goes there. It's a big fight. They have like these guns that if you hit with the gun, you get frozen.
Frozen?
We never see those guns again.
No, it's just in this little capture scene. They would come in handy all over the place.
Yeah. And then he runs away, and then he almost gets away, and then I think Lucy Liu is just waiting for them, and she knows exactly where he's going to run to, and she zaps him.
And then she...
Sure seems like if you're the greatest tracker in the world and you know where everybody is, you probably wouldn't go where there was a person, right? Is that right?
Go to the one place that she's just waiting behind a door. There are 1,000 doors you could go into. She's at one.
Was Cal even in this situation?
No, Cal didn't come with, as far as I could tell.
Why did Cal come with?
Because he's too big. Too obvious.
So they're like, box him up. And we're like, okay, they're going to box him up. Okay, so they put him in a box. Well, they don't see it. They say box him up. Then the next scene, they come out, they hand cart him out there, and then the box walls just fall off, and there he is sitting in a chair. And why did they box him up? I mean, it's a interesting concept.
I can tell you why I thought they were going to box him up.
Okay, give me the real joke, Tony. What's the real joke?
I thought it was going to be a present.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like, box me up, and then they wheel him in. He's in a fucking present. That's funny.
But he was in a shipping crate.
Nope, just a shipping crate. Yeah, that they just threw in the back of a van, probably. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, boom.
Oh. Or you should come in with a ribbon, and then they undo the ribbon, and then the sides fall off, and he's in the box.
What was that?
It's adorable.
What was that movie where we watched, and like the guy goes and buys the big Christmas tree, and it comes out of the box and goes. That was a weird movie. What was that movie?
I don't even know.
We did it for this show. I mean, the only reason I'm watching this stuff is because of this show. It's like there's like a little Christmas. There's a Christmas store. Is it Eddie Murphy? And he keeps going back for more Christmas presents.
Oh yeah. It's Oh yeah, we did this. I think it was just last year we did.
Could have been.
Yeah, I'll look that one up too, so we can feel better
it's
about it.
Mora. They protect the mythological world. He sees the headless horseman. She says, "Question the usual suspects." And
Candy Cane Lane was the name of that film, 2023.
There's a couple of good things in that movie.
Yeah, well, it's Eddie Murphy. There's gonna be something good,
of course. And Jack acclimatizes to their big mythological creatures. 10 seconds. 4 seconds? 1 second?
Do you think it really took? Yeah,
does it take a second?
Sure. I don't even know if acclimatize is the right word. I think he was just ready for it.
This does not surprise me.
Yeah, no, it's pretty weird, right? Because he's a guy that didn't even believe in Santa Claus this whole time, and then in this conversation, he's like, "Are you telling me that Santa Claus has been kidnapped?" Like, just immediately on board with it. I've spent 35 to 40 years not believing in anything. And now I'm just like, oh, yeah, no, cool. I'm on board. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about giant polar bear. The fudge?
Yeah. So, giant polar bear. And then they, of course, we do. Is this the point where we do the naughty list? And we get the explanation that 50% of the world is on the naughty list. 50% of the world is on the naughty list.
That's a little low if you ask me, Dan.
Well, we set up the naughty list as, I believe, telling a lie or jaywalking.
Yeah, there was a list. Yes, there was like a list, and I was shocked. There's no way that listen, you guys are being way too strict. Okay?
Naughty list is 99% if lying and jaywalking are on the list.
You tell me I can never tell a lie to be that's why I have to be on the nice list. No wonder I'm not getting presents from Santa.
No one does.
Good golly.
No one does. 1-year-olds are getting the presents. That's it.
I mean, like, so here's a question, right? So my wife comes in and she's like, "Hey, does this shirt look good on me?" And it doesn't, but I'm going to say yes, right? You say yes. You always say yes. Now I'm on the naughty list because I'm trying to make her feel better.
Yep.
That's bullshit, Santa.
So, and that's the thing is, like, you have to keep these things tenuous. You can't explain the naughty list as being,
you can't.
Black. It's not black and white. You're either up or you're down.
That's why Santa's got to check it twice. He's going through it and he's like, okay, you know what? This isn't that bad. Let's change this to nice list. So boom, we're going to see the bad guy finally. They've got Santa in this undersea globe pod where they're going to suck his energy out. Our bad guy is... Yeah, what is this, Dan? What is this magic? I was annoyed. Well, then he doesn't have to do anything for the rest of the movie. Right. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's dumb. It's real dumb. Talk about the villain, little blonde girl. I still don't know who she is. She's the Christmas witch. The evil Christmas witch that we always hear about. Now, let me real quick. The evil Christmas witch
that we always hear about.
Once again, they do have the Christmas witch in the Santa Claus. In the Santa Clauses.
That's where she's from. She's from the Santa Claus.
I mean, she must be because she must be real. Not, you know what I mean?
No,
but like she must be from something.
No,
if both of them have it. But I was just very confused. I don't know where this came from, and I don't know who she is, and I don't understand why she wants to punish people.
Nerlia or something. Her name is.
You think that was? Yeah, they do make a little joke about him. Nobody knowing how to say it at first, right?
Yeah. Don't say that. But, I'm saying it. Yeah, so she's the evil Christmas witch.
Hilarious joke.
At some point, she dated Krampus for hundreds of years. We find out later.
Yeah. And they want to punish people.
And they both want to teach the bad people that they're bad, so they want to punish them, yes.
By locking them in little snow globes for the rest of their lives until they just die in a snow globe.
That would be punishment.
Is that? It feels a little extreme. I don't even understand. If it's for jaywalking, you know what? Now you're locked up for eternity.
Because of
it's all weird.
A list that we're not even sure how the list exists or why the list exists. Or
I have absolutely no idea.
No, I mean, it seems like your bad guy needs to be Krampus, and we need to have an explanation as to the real conflict between him and Santa in childhood.
Yeah. Because it's a nice personal connection, your brothers, and you wronged him in some way by doing something that wasn't necessarily mean. Like Santa Claus isn't mean, right? But it's a misunderstanding. He feels slighted. Now he's getting revenge, and now you make up and you guys go do Christmas together.
The Thor Loki thing, and that one where the what is it? Thor 3, I guess, Ragnarok, when they're walking out there and the two of them are in the elevator and we got that elevator talk and they say, I want, Thor's like, I just wanted us to be brothers. And you understood Loki, he's covetous. He's got all these negatives and he just couldn't do it. And that was their relationship. We understood that relationship.
First of all, it would be hard because he's Thor.
He's Thor.
He's getting favoritism all over the place. I'd be bitter too. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, we it's just like this thing. Tony looks at Dad Goodsell's like, oh man, he gets everything.
That's why I undermine everything you do, Dan.
You try.
I am not successful.
So yeah, she's stealing Santa's energy. We go to a toy store and he picks up 25 items that he's going to embiggen later, including a whole Monopoly board game. I'm like, wow, if you're going to hold a whole Monopoly board game in your hands, this.
We better do something with it.
This is whatchamacallit, right? This is Chekhov's gun. You put that gun on the table, you better
that symbol better be out in full force at some point, or I'm going to lose my shit.
We need some Monopoly. This is a bit. You've set up a beautiful bit. You're getting paid by Hasbro. Or is Milton Bradley? Is it Milton Bradley Monopoly at this point?
I don't know.
It is Hasbro. Because Hasbro licenses it. I know that because, they made my game.
Which I still own.
Oh, there you go. Good job, Tony.
Yeah, great. It's fun.
You can't be having a guy picking up a Monopoly game, which is, I didn't recognize anything else he picked up. Did you?
Yeah. The Rock'em Sock'em Robots, which they do use.
Robots, which they do
Saw
use
that for
eventually.
Sure. And Monopoly's the only other thing I noticed. Yeah.
And he gets a car. And Chris Evans gets...
Why don't you just use the car from the Monopoly game?
That would be cool. If
there's a car in it, guys.
If they drove in that car, that would be very funny.
Some fucking sweet rich people car.
It's like this weird... And that would have been a visual joke you could make. But instead they just put them in some car that they, that the company paid them for. It's like, this gets more product placement.
Sure. Yeah. Does anybody want their car in this movie? Anybody? And
Chris Evans wants to get a Wonder Woman action figure and make that into the full thing. That's a funny joke.
It was a funny joke. I did enjoy that.
So basically the bad guys, what they want to do is they want to take this snow globe that they can imprison you in and make a bunch of them. And that for some reason, initially they can't duplicate them. And then
it doesn't work.
Something later on happens in the movie so that they can.
And it does work. Yeah. Classic science right
there. It is. Boom, we're on the beach. Oh, because they've had to go to Aruba. They can transport instantly from any one toy store to another toy store if they go to the closet. Okay, so they get to Aruba. They don't have to deal with flying our characters to Aruba. There Cal has to beat up some bad guys, and the middleman is, what's his name? Nick Kroll.
Yeah, Nick Kroll. Yeah.
Nick Kroll. Let's talk about Nick Kroll for 1 second.
Please, let's do it.
Nick Kroll.
What do you got?
Funny man.
Yeah, he's funny. Yeah.
Funny man. How's this?
Not in this movie.
They forgot that part of hiring Nick Kroll.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you wanted to say. He's funny, but not in this movie. I mean, you're absolutely right. Well, here's the weird thing that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I don't know whose choice this was. Maybe it was Nick's choice. Maybe it was the director's choice. I don't really know.
Choice.
But when he gets taken over by the witch.
So wait, they find out he's working for the witch. They finds out the witch's name. They say the witch. Chris Evans accidentally says the witch's name. The witch then possesses Nick Kroll, and
then it's just him talking weird,
and
leaning over,
leaning forward at about a 30-degree angle. You're like, why is he leaning at a 30-degree? What does that even mean?
Why is he talking in a different cadence than the witch? She is talking through him, but it's like a weird transference thing where she's talking at a normal pace and he's talking super slow.
Maybe they hired...
So she's not talking through him.
Maybe they hired the witch after they had him do his part.
It's... I don't know. It's just weird because like it's not like she's talking through his mouth. It's like they're playing a game of telephone where she's like, okay, this is what you're going to say to them. And then he has to repeat it as opposed to her talking through him. It's very strange. And I don't like the voice he chose, which is just like a weird scream. Yeah. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's all bad. Someone should have watched it and been like, let's do some reshoots. Let's spend a couple extra $1,000 and do this differently because this is dumb.
What? Hey, I got an idea. You and I spend 15 seconds thinking about this scene. What do? We have her do the thing, and we look at how she stands and what she does, and then we tell Nick Kroll to do that.
Oh, okay, because she's talking through him. Yeah, that's a fun joke. No, instead, let's do the opposite and just have him scream a bunch of things for no reason. And we'll put him on strings I don't understand because that was like a choice they had to make because they had to rig up a thing where he could lean forward and kind of, I don't know. This is weird. I don't know who's making these choices.
Then what happens?
I don't know what happens next. Then he falls into the sand. I thought he was dead.
Nope. Ice cream music happens. An ice cream truck rolls out of the ocean, and 3 giant snowmen get out.
Yeah, yep. That is what happens. Yeah.
And then we spend time fighting them. They kill Nick Kroll or freeze him enough so that he's not useful, and then our guys defeat them all
by
pulling off their noses.
Just pulling off their noses. I don't get it.
Burning them on a fire, that doesn't do it. It's the nose.
Nope. It's the nose. No.
Hold on a second, Tony.
Okay.
There's the seminal snowman text. What is a seminal snowman text?
Frosty, this is what I was going to say. It's Frosty the frickin' snowman. It's not a carrot. That's not where his magic comes from. It's a gosh darn top hat. You take off the top hat and he would go away. I don't understand it. They steal from everywhere except for when it makes sense. Come on, guys.
Okay, so we had a big fight. Ice cream truck, pool. Yeah, that was really funny. Then we do this whole thing with the dude getting a ticket, and then the snow globe is in his Porsche, and then it doesn't work, and we're just like, I don't understand. It was the weirdest, most, I don't know what is even happening scene.
Yeah, nope, I have no idea, because the police or the patrol, what are they called?
No.
The parking maid? Is that, I feel like that's offensive.
Meter maid?
Meter person.
Parking enforcement
I don't know. The person there you go. Parking enforcement person is actually a bad guy that transforms?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this scene.
Because I think they walk up to the door, open it, and then they like transform into one of the bad guys as if the whole thing was a trap.
Like they needed to put a ticket on his car to make him go to his car. I don't understand.
That have to do with anything? No. He's gonna come back to the car eventually. You could just wait.
And like you open up your Porsche and there's like a present sitting there.
And you're like, oh, oof. I better open that up. That's definitely not a bomb.
For me? A present? Like, I don't understand.
Secret Santa, baby. You know, this is great.
Okay, so they check the UDM, which is a thing that says where magic is happening.
Now, this bothers me.
What, the UDM?
I don't remember what it is. It's the unregistered something. It's about people that use magic that aren't allowed to, a la Harry Potter. This is just something literally stolen from Harry Potter. But why is this the first time? They've known who the bad person is for a little bit now.
Yep.
And then they went to Nick Kroll to be like, hey, where is she? But why didn't you just check the list of this magic people? You instantly find her. They found her within 20 seconds of being like, oh, let's check the list that literally tells us where these people are. Why isn't that your first stop?
Oh, because this is not a movie where, see, like this is a red herring movie, right? You set up what the red herring is, and then that you just follow that point A to point B to point C to point D. But in this movie, we figured, well, let's just end that here so we could talk about a new thing. Right?
Figure out something different.
As opposed to like, them taking Nick Kroll's cell phone and being like, oh, here it is on his cell phone. Because that's what you do in a normal movie, right?
Yeah, well, you're right about that.
Yeah. But no, instead we can set up a whole new thing that will never get reused and never get thought about again, but we can use it now.
I don't like it.
So now they got to go to Krampus's. And we find out that Chris Evans' character is supposed to be at a concert at 7 p.m. Unlikely. Now they take a blue truck. They get to Krampus's place. Before we go into Krampus's place, Cal says to Chris, whatever his name is, he's like, don't steal any of the money that's going to be laying around. There's going to be lots of money.
So much money
laying around. Don't pick it up. Got it, Tony. Don't pick up the money.
I mean, that's basically Aladdin, right?
I don't know.
Don't touch anything except for the lamp. And then he touches something, and then they're in trouble.
Nah.
Same situation.
Never seen that one.
Yes, you have. You've seen Aladdin. You liar.
It was fun. I actually liked that movie.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I did not like Robin Williams in the movie, but I liked the movie.
I'm trying really hard not to lose my shit on you right now, dude.
I didn't like it because this was. You know why I didn't like that? His thing is because
no, please.
That was the beginning of you having a movie set in a time period, and then the comedian makes a bunch of relevant pop culture references, and
that don't make sense.
It just don't make sense.
I get it.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny. It's Robin Williams. He's very funny, but I think that if you're going to set something in a time period, you got to figure out how to make it funny for the time period. Period.
I agree with what you're saying. My counterpoint, which doesn't matter because we're not talking about this movie, is that he's an all-powerful genie and he probably knows shit from the future, Dan. But I also agree with you that did kind of set a precedent where it was okay just to do this willy-nilly, and I disagree with that. So I'm with you and against you at the same time.
Most people are not going to be well-versed enough to be able to do it so that it actually is funny.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem. Yeah.
Stupid Robin Williams.
God, I love him. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's very funny. Very funny, man. Okay, boom. So we get in there and here, there's hellhounds. He takes a rubber chicken, turns it into a real chicken who Cal specifically knows. And when the later saves that chicken?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's weird. It's confusing. Is this a chicken from Christmas Story somewhere? Like, did I miss something?
I think you're going to have to watch more seasons of the Santa Claus to figure out where they stole this chicken from.
Maybe it'll come. Yeah, maybe it's season 2. I haven't gotten there on my rewatch yet. Maybe there's a Christmas chicken in there. I just don't even understand what's happening. I don't get it.
Oh, here you are, Harriet, the chicken that I know personally. I'm setting you on a new task. So, be careful. I don't want you to die because I have a lot of emotions invested in you.
You're my best friend.
Because you're a rubber chicken toy that I picked up in a random toy store in Germany.
Yep. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
What's happening? Now, did you own a rubber chicken when you were a kid?
I don't think I ever did have a rubber chicken. Because those are the ones like you squeeze and they go like with the eyes or whatever.
No,
that's a rubber chicken.
No, it's just a rubber chicken. It's just a chicken that's rubber.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't have a weird toy like that. No,
we did as kids. Figure it out.
I mean, I had like a rubber ducky, that I used to, would be in the bath. So I had that.
Different thing.
But not a rubber chicken. I know it's a different thing. I'm just saying, foul's foul.
It's not the same. So they walk in and boom, here comes Medusa Man and this man and that man who they don't fight. They immediately surrender to because Jack has stolen a gold coin. He's like, gold's worth a lot of money and I have gambling debts.
So many gambling debts.
Cal's like, do you remember the one rule? We did a whole one rule thing.
I said one thing. Yeah, it could be a very funny scene.
So we go see Krampus. Krampus is with all his Krampus people, which are all these people in rubber masks.
Yeah.
And we're doing Krampus knocked, I think, which is the thing where Krampus slaps you. Well, you get to slap Krampus, and Krampus is 1,000 miles high, and you're 1 foot tall, and your slap has no effect on Krampus. While Krampus, who's gigantic, slaps you, and you fly across the room. I didn't die.
Yeah, in the movie, sure, but they do say who either passes out or dies. Yep. Like that's what they say is the rule. So Krampus is killing folk all over the place. Yeah. Now, which Christmas story is this from, you think? The slap fight?
I bet you might be a real thing.
There's no way. I hope that is. I hope the Krampus tale is like he sneaks into your house. You get to slap. If you lose, he kidnaps your children. Because isn't that Krampus's thing? He kidnaps the children in a bag?
Yeah, because if you're a bad kid, he'd get you. Did we do the Krampus movie? Did we do it?
We did not do it.
I must have. I think I watched it. And it's not good, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably why you didn't decide to do it.
I don't know. So the slap fight. Then we get a lot of exposition. They find out about the snow globe, so now we know about the snow globe. And then I don't know, they're gonna leave or something, and then they're gonna keep Cal, and they're gonna make Chris Evans leave, and Chris Evans is like, "That's not what's gonna happen. Cal's gonna slap fight you," and Cal's like, "I can't beat him." And then what happens is Chris Evans steals his magic make things bigger and make things stronger glove, so that when Cal slaps Krampus falls down, but he doesn't win.
But it's still fine.
He doesn't win, though. Don't they then have to run away?
Yeah, they have to run away because Krampus didn't get knocked out, I guess. He was just, knocked down, which I guess isn't the rule. I don't know.
I mean, shouldn't Cal win?
Yeah, I mean, it makes more sense because you're cheating. Otherwise, you could have just ran away earlier. I don't know. It's a dumb scene.
You gotta win because then you have power, and then we're like, you
got leverage in the scene,
and then Krampus has to, Krampus is like, well, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna owe you a boon, and then he calls in the boon at some point or something. I don't know.
Something or something.
They drive away. They see a piano in the road. They get out. There's a present on the piano, and what does Jack do?
Just opens it.
Well, he finds out his kid also has the present. His kid gets grabbed by the present.
Sure.
He opens the present. He gets grabbed by it. They're both transported onto a shelf where they're trapped inside these snow globes forever.
No, not forever.
Until they die.
Guess what? Not even very long, it turns out. There's just a really easy way to escape.
Well, you have to become a good person.
Just don't be a shit person, and then you get to break out of these snow globes. Now, I guess my question is this kind of like born again Christianity, where you could just be like, you know what? Everything I did in the past, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be good. And then it automatically, he didn't have to prove anything, I guess is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? He just did one good thing. He was just nice to his son. That's not even that good.
Well, he's done that before. and then
That's also
turned
true.
around the next day. And, well, I mean,
and been a just piece of shit again.
My understanding of forgiveness in the Christian religion is if you're dying, if I Dan Goodsell laying in the bed dying, priest comes in and he's like, confess your sins, Dan Goodsell. And then he has a few hours.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. He absolves me. Then I think I get to go to heaven.
And then, then you're good. You're fine. Yeah. Which is, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
but that's just because you don't have time to mess it up again.
So Cal calls Mrs. Claus, realizes that Mrs. Claus isn't Mrs. Claus, and that they really never left Santa Claus Land. They're underneath Santa Claus Land. They're making lots of the snow globes. He goes back there. Let's see. Oh, so he heads back there. Jack, meanwhile, is there with his kid, and he's all like, you know what? I'm going to be a good dad from now on. And then they both get out of the things. The kid didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah, the kid didn't seem to change. He's always just been a kid. So I don't understand why, it just doesn't make, the rules don't really make a lot of sense.
So Cal is somehow instantly reunited with Jack down below. Somehow. I don't know why they both would have been there, but they are.
Well, because he was breaking in, or Cal was breaking in, and they're trying to break out,
Yep. So now we're there. We release all the elf people, and we go up to the top, and we see that what the witch has done is she has gotten in the sleigh, has a bonus cart full of all the snow globes. Maybe, how many snow globes do you think could fit in that thing? 10,000, maybe?
I don't even know if it was 10,000. I was going to guess 5,000, not 5 total.
let's say 5 to 10,000. Not a lot.
No, not for 50% of the population. That's for sure.
I think you need in the billions.
Billions. Yep. Nope. That's correct. Yeah. Definitely about where we're at.
Her thing is taking care of this tonight. I don't think that's going to work.
Not going to happen.
I don't think that's happening.
No.
So the sleigh takes off. Somehow the only two people in this entire place where everybody has airplanes and snowmobiles and everything, just those two get on the two. You got polar bears, you got everything. Nope, just these two. She knocks Cal one direction. She knocks Chris Evans to the front. He then climbs the ropes.
Yeah, he does. Did you ever watch Arrow? You never watched Arrow, right?
Oh,
the TV show.
No, I don't want
about the Green Arrow with Stephen Amell.
I watched one episode. Yes,
he does this really cool pull-up thing where it's got notches. So he does a pull-up and then leaps and gets up a notch, and he climbs a ladder doing pull-ups, and that's exactly what this is. But just not as cool because he's going horizontal, whereas Stephen Amell goes vertical, and he really did that. Everybody, so
that's Ninja Warrior. That's for
sure. Could have said Ninja Warrior too. Yeah, but it's cooler that Stephen Amell.
I don't think he made that up. I think sexy. Ninja Warrior made that up.
He didn't make it up. I was just saying he did it, and he looks really good doing it, and you should watch that instead of watching Chris Evans do it horizontally, which isn't even hard.
So he kicks the thing and releases the reindeers. The reindeers fly off, and the thing crashes, and the witch goes over the edge.
Why would they just fly off? Do they not have brains? Wouldn't they just come back and kick the shit out of her?
They do eventually.
They do after Santa calls them. He has to call them back.
I'm going to ask you a question.
All right,
Santa yells something.
That's exactly what I hear. What you just did is exactly what I hear every time.
He did it
I have no idea.
He did it 3 times in the movie. He shouted something that's supposed to mean something. We don't understand
Not to me. Doesn't mean nothing to me. I apologize if that's offensive to anybody, but it means absolutely nothing to me.
You have the captions on. Didn't it say in the captions what you said?
I did not have the captions on, Dan, because she wasn't watching with me. I got to watch by myself. I had a full clean screen. Oh, it was Christmas come early.
So the witch comes back. She's a giant with tentacles. And Jack's like, Cal's like, run, Jack, run. And Jack's like, no, I'm going to die here because Santa Claus is here.
Yeah. What?
He believes in Santa Claus.
I mean, that's great, but you're not superhuman. Everybody else in this movie is superhuman. Just get out, dude. Go save your kid.
Hold on a second. Let me think for a second.
Okay.
If I was writing this stupid movie, what would I do?
Yeah.
What would you do, Tony?
What would I do? I just told you
What would he do?
He would go rescue his son.
No. He'd run away. We'd think he was being a coward.
Oh, and then he comes back and he saves the day. Yeah, I mean, that's fine.
Right, that's what he's got.
I'll allow
you
it,
have
Dan.
to do that. That's what has to happen.
Yeah, that's fine. That's storytelling.
That's what has to happen. He can't be like, I'm going to stand up and fight the witch with my fist. I'll punch you.
I thought you were asking what I would do
in real life.
In the situation, which is I would save my son. Because guess what? Save Spock, save the universe. I'm saving Spock every time. He's my best friend.
See, I would run and then save the universe. And
of course you would. Of course you would.
Sacrifice my kid for more powerful magic so I could fight her.
Just so you could fight and save the world. You know, I'm saving billions of lives here. Or 5 to 10,000 based on the movie. But, you know.
Your youthful blood and soul will propel me forward.
You're doing some sort of ritual with it now.
There's witches. It's
all
true.
No, this poor guy.
She tentacles them. She whacks Cal. She whacks Jack. Santa wakes up, summons the reindeer. She falls into the globes. Oh, Krampus shows up at some point.
Yeah, he shows up. They have like a little. Hey,
you're a sexy woman.
Now.
I want to have sex with you some more.
She hits him, and he's like, just like the old days or something. It's all real weird, but I get it. And I just want Krampus to know. I get it.
Krampus has this. Why, you thought she was sexy with those tentacles? Probably. You're weird, Tony.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, I get it.
What about his boom shakalaka? Puka chaka.
I just don't understand some of the choices. I don't get it. Like, and does he fly on some sort of hell?
Yeah.
Driven sleigh? Yeah. Is that his thing?
I've never heard that, but that's there.
That's what I mean. I don't mean in this movie. I know this movie. I'm just saying in, regular human Christmas lore. Is he on some sort of hell? Like, why are there hellhounds there? Is he the devil? I just don't understand.
Because that was a word they could use. Just like the NORAD thing. They're like, hellhounds.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's something we understand. Oh, a dog from hell. We get it. But I don't understand why Krampus has it. I don't know.
And one of his guards will be a Medusa, but it won't turn you to stone. Right?
Yep.
Like,
you can look at this Medusa all you want, guys. Don't even worry about it.
It's a dude Medusa. And if dude Medusa turned you,
Dude-dusa. That's what they call it.
We just made up a thing. Well, you did.
Yeah, we did.
The reindeer... Jack mocks her. Oh, she gets knocked into the big pile of globes. There's kind of a nice scene where she's like, "Rah!" And then Jack picks up the globe and then's like, "You suck, and you're in a globe." Santa has this moment where he thanks Krampus, and we're like, "Okay."
Super lackluster. They don't seem to like brother it up at all, which is interesting because he just kind of saved your life. I don't know.
So now we get to do real Santa Claus. Santa Claus goes to deliver the presents. The presents come out of this tub and they're tiny, and so Santa can carry a bunch of them, and then he parkours into the buildings, and then he goes big and little Santa, up Santa, down Santa. But there's also goblins and elves, like, putting stuff out to help him or knocking out kids that might be awake or something.
It's definitely that one. They're putting in some gas in the
gassing all the kids. Oh, and Jack and his kid get to go along because
why not? Because
Jack saves the thing that he started all going wrong.
Wouldn't they be cold? You know what I mean? Is this sleigh like covered in some sort of fancy heat and globe?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't like any of this, Stan.
Cal sees Jack as a kid interacting with his kid, and then he gets back the love of kids. Not that kind of love of kids, but the love of the spirit of kids. And then Cal, then we see somebody says, the important thing is to keep trying. And then Jack's like, did we just save Christmas?
And I think the answer's not really.
They sort of save Santa Claus.
They save Santa. They didn't really save Christmas. He doesn't seem to do as much as I would think Santa would be doing.
They either saved half the population of the planet, or they saved the amount of people
yeah.
that is equivalent to the number of non-broken snow globes.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. Yep.
Meh.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think, will kids enjoy it? Maybe. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Kids like Marvel movies, and this feels kind of like a bad Marvel movie, you know?
The kids like bad Marvel movies, though.
That's a great question. I actually don't know the answer. I feel like they probably do.
It'd be interesting to talk to like a 12-year-old and see what they have to say about the entirety of the Marvel universe.
I actually just did.
What did they?
I was just talking.
What did they say? What did this kid say?
So so my nephew, Colton, great dude. He, first of all, Dan loves Venom. He just saw the new Venom and he thinks it's great. Yeah, and I didn't have the heart to. Well, that's what I was like, and I thought about it. I was like, it is very juvenile. Yeah, like Venom, when we do it next week, I bet there's going to be a lot of stupid jokes that are stupid, but kids might enjoy. Him and his 9-year-old brother, they have been doing the Venom voice for the last 48 hours. And I do it with them. I'm Eddie. And they think it's hilarious. Yeah, they love it. So I'm a hit because I've seen Venom. But anyhow, they love the MCU. They don't have the problems that we have with logic and stories not making any sense anymore. And they don't care. It's fun. It's exciting.
Did they make it through Marvels? That's my question.
Like the Miss Marvel one?
Not that. Well, there's a Miss Marvel TV show, but there's the movie, the Marvels. Right,
but the movie, the Marvels, and it's got all 3 of the ladies in it. Yeah, they saw it. They loved it. They actually liked the singing planet, which is my least favorite part of that movie. There it is. And I was like, okay, cool. My brother, because their dad, my brother, they all watched it just last weekend, the Marvels.
Okay, cool. And that's the whole thing. We're here to be giant assholes because that's what we do.
That is what we do. That's who we are, and it's what we love.
But, these are movies, and the critical response to movies is always very different.
For sure. And I mean, like, here's the thing. This movie's not good, right? But I also don't hate it. No. And if a kid likes it, I'm be like, yeah, that's fine. But here's a better Christmas movie. like there are movies that you'll enjoy more than this movie, but I can appreciate that you still have fun.
Yeah.
And let me just say one thing real quickly about my nephew is he doesn't like DC movies, and he watched the Superman show. Is like, I just don't like Superman. And I was like, why? And he's like, they're too dark. What they love about the MCU is how like fun and light and colorful and exciting it is.
Oh, so he rightly realizes that Zack Snyder's garbage. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he did know. He knew. He knew the whole time.
It's pretty easy. Anybody intelligent should know that.
Wrong. Erroneous. There are some redeeming qualities. I'm going to get upset. I'm hopping mad.
The Dark Knight is so good.
First of all, The Dark Knight is good.
Oh, yeah.
You're a monster. You are a monster.
We never finished the new Batman movie. It was pretty good.
The Batman?
Yeah. I mean, what's her name is Catwoman.
Great. She's wonderful.
Amazing.
Robert Pattinson's, this is not his fault. I'm saying the character of Batman in The Batman is trash. He is an emo little whiny piece of trash, and I hate him, and I hate all of the people that were like, this is a good idea. And then when Batman walks, he's so loud. He walks down a hallway that's dark, and it's like ka-chunk, ka-chunk. What's that's not Batman. Batman's silent. Why does he walk so slow all the time? He's walking through the crime scene, and he's going in slow motion. This is a crime scene. Ka-chunk, ka-chunk. I don't like this movie. I don't like it. It's beautiful. Let me just say that. We've shot really well.
We've never really gotten back to the Neil Adams Batman of that one pose where he's like running in the capes like that. It's like we still are in the midst of the 2.5-inch rubber suit.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, I can't move my neck. I don't know what's going on here. Someday we'll figure it out.
We could put Michelle Pfeiffer in like the tightest leather skin suit that everyone falls. Why can't Batman get to do that? Why doesn't Batman?
It is weird that his is so clunky. It's so like it's so thick. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know.
Weird.
Maybe James Gunn will get it right when he finally casts Jensen Ackles as Batman. Just putting that out in the universe one more time.
Now we're talking about something we like this week. Yes. Superman trailer, baby.
Dude.
When Crypto, when you're like, he's lying there and he's all like, beep, and we see something coming, I'm like, what is that? Snowmobile? What is that?
Oh, that's...
And then it's Crypto. I'm like...
I screamed immediately.
Oh, you knew it was Crypto before you could even see him?
You can ask Naomi. Yeah, we watched it together the other night, and as soon as the pile of cloud, when I was like, Crypto! I got so excited, dude. This trailer... sorry, this is your thing.
What a trailer.
Fuck, dude.
I mean,
excuse me.
I never watched the third Guardians of the Galaxy just because I knew it was about animal cruelty, and I
don't ever watch it. Don't ever watch it.
You told me not to watch it, and
yep.
And I, it's like whatever positives are in there, I'm not going to go to dig them out because I couldn't take it.
100%.
I would kill me.
It's not worth it. I promise you, it's not.
I don't want to cry. And then
you will cry so much.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I watched 10 minutes of that, if that, 8 minutes, and I was like, this looks so terrible. It might have a good story, but it looks just so terrible.
It's cute. What I mean? It
looks like they filmed it at the Disneyland Avengers complex.
Yeah. On like an HD camera for $99 at Target. Yeah, absolutely.
It felt like it was on an HD camera. It was so cute. Weird. And I couldn't take it.
I agree.
I couldn't take that. I was like, I can't take this. So I was like, and all the other, that weird promo photo of him sitting there and then world leaders out the window or something. I was like, what is this? I don't understand what this is. And then they put out this trailer and you're like, well, he knows what the fuck he's doing. At least when he's presenting to us. It
seems like it. Whoever cut the trailer, I don't know if it was James, I don't know if it was someone else, whoever, dude, I got chills. And with the music they use with the electric guitar doing the Superman. Oh boy, I'm ready.
And then what's her name is Lois Lane. I saw the casting of her. I love her, Marvelous Miss Maisel. She's incredible. And then I see this, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm in love with her. Yeah, I will. I'm available. Yes, let me know. Because she just looks like Lois Lane, and she looks competent. Yeah. And that's the thing is if you understand these characters and embody these characters, we can see it in a trailer.
100%. And I love Amy Adams.
Yeah.
She's very, very talented. I never really felt Lois Lane vibes from her.
It was a different Lois Lane.
For sure. But this feels very traditional. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about everything. I'm excited about that British dude as Lex Luthor, whose name I am since forgetting for some reason.
Hoult. Hoult. I always forget how to say his name.
Yeah, Beast from X-Men First Class. Nicholas Hoult.
You
did it.
That's what it is.
You did it. Good job. And Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern. Gardner,
he looks
whatever.
So weird.
Oh
he looks
God.
so weird.
I love it.
He looks so weird.
Good. Yeah, I'm very excited
Hawk
about
Girl,
this.
Metamorpho, weird robot character. Yeah. I'm just like, what?
Some sort of kaiju monster, which I don't recognize from anything, but I don't care.
He's just going to be, it's going to be a scene where he's fighting some stuff and it's,
going to be cool. It's going to be cool, man.
And you know what it is? It's shot in the daytime in the, the color saturation. It's just such a choice. Yeah. It's such a choice. Yeah. And it feels like the right choice after the choices we've been getting.
I mean, that's what it is, right? It's just like, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to give you light, hope. I'm excited. That's all, I'm excited. July could not come soon enough. Yeah. I'm ready.
So I'm all board. And I mean, and then you counter that with the super dark Batman and you were like, yes, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
Are you watching Creature Commandos?
Is it started yet? I didn't know.
It has started. We're 4 episodes in.
Yeah.
Don't watch episode 4.
Why?
I think.
Why?
It's Guardians 3 vibes.
Oh God! Why?
It gives the spoiler alerts. I won't spoil anything, but it gives a backstory to Weasel.
Oh God!
That is unnecessarily emotional.
Got it.
So just something to watch out for. But other than that, it's pretty fun.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
I don't know.
I hadn't watched it yet, but I planned on watching it, so I will.
Yeah, just be wary of episode 4. I cried. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. So what else? What do you got for us else, Tony?
Well, on a super similar note, I've been talking about Finding Mr. Christmas all season long, which is the Hallmark reality TV show where they found the next Hallmark star. The movie starring the winner of that, if you haven't watched it, I won't spoil it. The winner of that has dropped, and we watched it, and it is delightfully terrible. I love it so much. It's just wonderful. It's just a wonderful Christmas. I love it. I hope they do this every year for the foreseeable future. I will watch every single year.
Is the dude going to get more work because of being in it? Or not?
Listen, I love him to death. He is so beautiful. He's so pretty. He can only do Hallmark movies or soap operas. I don't believe he'll ever get past that barrier, but I hope he surprises me. I really do, because he seems like a genuinely sweet guy, and he's very sexy. And he's, new to it. He's new to it.
Maybe he'll do those movies. Those movies are available to people.
I hope they do. I hope it's not like we give you a movie and now you can GFY. I hope they give him something to keep doing, because I really enjoy watching him. He's not a great actor, but maybe he'll get there.
Well, I guess that brings us to the end of our Christmas extravaganza. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays, all that kind of stuff.
Happy holidays.
However you celebrate, do that celebration. And we're going to come back and do Venom at some point.
Eddie.
And we see the final one of those. And
it's going to be a great end of the trilogy.
I don't know that I remember anything about any of the other ones, but I do remember doing them. We did do them.
Yep. We definitely did them throughout the years. I have absolutely no idea.
What's her name end up as Lady Venom in the last one?
Boy, I don't remember. Maybe I should do a rewatch over Christmas break here.
I think, she had something to do with the symbiote at some point, and I think the last one.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So, if she's back, I mean, she's wonderful, so we'll see.
Yeah, Michelle Williams is awesome.
Is awesome. That's it. If you like what you see, give us a like, a subscribe, or send in your ideas, because some of those movies are going to get done.
Absolutely. Sorry, my parents' dog is going crazy right now. If you can hear.
So, dog trouble.
All right. Well, we better get out of here then, Dan.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, watch it!